very warm welcome to Grade 4 English class. We're meeting after a break. I hope you all are doing great. My name is Reshma and I'll be handling your English classes for the year. So before we begin the lessons, let's get familiar with the materials we need to make learning English a much more interactive and fun experience. So first things first, the textbook. So as an English reader, we'll be following Enhanced English Fairy Reader for Grade 4 by Macmillan Education. You'll also get an English workbook, and you also need a dictionary and a notebook for taking down notes. Now, let's look at the contents of this textbook at a glance. So as you turn the pages, you'll see these two pages. These are the contents in this textbook, explained in short. So you see a do and learn and a warm-up session for each unit. So these sections contain interesting activities which will set the mood for the chapter. So each unit will have a specific theme, and these will be activities based on this theme. Then you see reading section, and these contain passages with a variety of text, such as a story, a poem, and this is aimed at improving your comprehension skills. Now, as you move to the exercise part, you'll see sections dealing with vocabulary and spellings. And these sections are aimed at improving your word power. Now, you'll see writing and punctuation exercise, and these are aimed at improving your creative writing skills. You'll also be given samples and formats for better support. Now, you see listening, speaking, and punctuation exercise, which are aimed at improving your communication skills. Then, you see a section called values and life skills, and these are activities aimed at raising your consciousness on a responsible living. Now, you'll see the grammar section, which will help you to learn the rules of the language and use better English in communication. Then, you'll see a small card like this one here, and this talks about My Earth songs. These are beautiful songs for our planet Earth. My Earth songs are a set of beautiful songs by Ricky Cage and his team, and these songs are dedicated to our planet, and it's based on sustainability and conservation. You can see a small QR code given on that circular card. You can scan that QR code to download the application, or you can search the songs mentioned in each unit online to listen to them. Now, at the back side of this textbook, you can see a page where it says Sachin Speaks, where Sachin Tendulkar talks about the importance of sports and fitness in our day-to-day life. Now, the next page talks about the digital learning resources that you can use to make the learning experience much more interactive. Here you can see a QR code which you can scan, and you can download the Diginest app, which has got some interesting animations and games. Now, you see, this is the last page of your textbook. You can see this picture there, and here one token number will be given. You can use this token number to register your textbook with Macmillan so that you can access the digital content that comes with this textbook. As you turn the pages, you can see the contents page. You can see there are 6 units. Each unit has got its own theme like family, neighborhood, music, movers and shakers, wit and humor, self-esteem and self-confidence. These are the units in this chapter, and each unit will have a story and a poem. So today we'll be starting with the first unit, and the theme of this unit is family. We'll start with the story. This is called A Daughter's Love. So we all love our parents. But have you ever told them how much you love them? How do you express your love to your parents? So here is a small gesture to show your love to your parents. Make an I love you card to tell your parents how much you love them. Let me ask you, when someone gives you something, a help, or a gift, do you ever say thank you or thanks? Or when you make a mistake, do you ever admit it? Do you say sorry? When you make a request, do you say please? So words like this, please, sorry, thank you, these are called courtesy words. And we use these words to show our politeness in our attitude or behavior towards others. We'll be learning more about courtesy words later in this chapter. Now, let's listen to a song. This is called She Can Do, He Can Do. This is from My Earth Songs. You can listen to this song from My Earth Songs app, or you can also search it online in the presence of your parents. Now let's get back to the story. The name of our story is A Daughter's Love. This is a graphical adaptation of William Shakespeare's King Lear. So William Shakespeare, the renowned English poet, English playwright and actor, the world-renowned dramatist. Some of his other notable works include Hamlet, Romeo and Juliet, Othello, and Macbeth. So the story A Daughter's Love is about the relationship between a father and his daughter. Now if you please turn to page number 2 in your textbook, there is a small warm-up exercise given there. You can see a picture there. What do you think of when you see this picture? Tell your elbow partner about it. Elbow partner is the one who will be sitting next to you if you were in a classroom setting. So you see a picture there, a child holding his or her parent's hand. What do you feel when you see this picture? What do you feel when you hold your parent's hand? Do you feel that warmth? Do you feel that love? You can write about it in your notebook. Now let's read the story. Please look at your textbook, page number 2. Many, many years ago, there was a king in England called Lear. He was a wise and generous king who had ruled over his kingdom for many years, but he was becoming old. He felt it was time to pass on his kingdom to his daughters. So here it says about the elderly king called King Lear, who was the ruler of England. He was becoming old and weak and he wanted to retire. So he decided to pass on his kingdom to his daughters. So King Lear had 3 daughters, Goneril, Regan, and Cordelia. Cordelia was the youngest daughter and she loved him the most and he knew it. Now that the king was getting old and decided to retire, he wanted to pass his kingdom to his daughters. So he decided to put a contest to test who loves him the most as a father. So let's see. One day, King Lear decided to ask his 3 daughters a question. The 2 eldest daughters, Goneril and Regan, lied to their father. So let's see what they told their father. The king asked them, "Well, dears, tell me how much you love me." To which Goneril replies, "Sir, you are dearer to me than my eyesight or life. No child has ever loved her father more than I love you." And then Regan says, "I am the happiest when I am able to serve you." The king was flattered to hear these words from his eldest daughters. He knew Cordelia loved him the most and he expected a same kind of reply from her as well. Let's see if Cordelia was able to make him happy with flattering words, like her elder sisters. Cordelia was Lear's youngest daughter. Now it was her turn to express her love for her father. "What can you say to deserve your share of the kingdom, Cordelia?" King Lear asks his youngest daughter, to which she replies, "I love you as I should, neither more nor less." So this reply of Cordelia, when the king was expecting flattering words, made him angry. "You better mend that speech, Cordelia, or you may lose your fortune." So the king got very angry with her words. Then Cordelia says, "My lord, you are my father. You have cared for me, fed me, and loved me. Thus I obey you, love you, and greatly honor you." While the 2 elder daughters flattered the king to win a fortune, Cordelia expressed her genuine love for her father. King Lear found it hard to believe that Cordelia had really felt a sense of duty towards him. He had thought that she loved him greatly. So Cordelia's reply made the king feel that she loved him only out of a sense of duty, not more than that. So he told his daughter, if this is the truth, then you'll get nothing from me. You're no longer a daughter of mine. I'll divide your share of the kingdom between Gonril and Regan. I disown you. As Cordelia could not convince King Lear how much she loved him, the king got angry with her and decided to divide his kingdom between his two elder daughters, Gonril and Regan. And he told Cordelia that he disowned her. What do you mean by disown? Disown means to banish or to refuse to maintain a connection with. So when King Lear disowned Cordelia, she was supposed to leave the palace. So hearing her father say this, Cordelia burst into tears. The King of France was in the court when Cordelia was asked to leave. He thought of her as simple and honest, and hence wished to marry her. Cordelia agreed and they left for France. So when the king disowned his daughter, she was supposed to leave the palace. She was supposed to leave the country. So while this was happening in the palace, the King of France was also present there. While King Lear thought his daughter did not love her or was not true to him, the King of France felt Cordelia is simple and honest. She didn't know how to flatter people. She was very genuine. So King of France liked her and wished to marry her. To this, Cordelia agreed, and together they left for France. So while leaving the palace, the only thought Cordelia had in her mind was whether the sisters would take good care of her father. So she was thinking, I hope my sisters take good care of my old father. I'm really worried about his health. So together, the King of France and Cordelia left for France. King Lear decided to stay with his eldest daughter. He soon found out that Gonril was only after his kingdom. She did not take care of him. Soon, King Lear realized that his second daughter was equally cruel and selfish. The king even thought, I would rather beg on the streets than be disrespected by my daughters. Oh, how I miss Cordelia today. So, once they won the fortune, Gonril and Regan started to show their true colors. They did not take care of their old and sick father properly. King Lear soon became very disappointed. He started regretting that he disowned his dearest daughter Cordelia. He started to miss Cordelia. So once they won the fortune, Gonril and Regan started to show their true color. They did not love their father from the heart. They were not taking care of their father properly. They were both very cruel and selfish that King Lear felt that begging on the streets was much better than staying with them. And he started regretting that he disowned Cordelia. Meanwhile, Cordelia was worried about her father's health. England and France were at war with each other at that time. As she was the Queen of France, she could not enter England anymore. Thus, she decided to attack England and rescue her father. However, the French army is defeated by the English and she is imprisoned. Cordelia is surprised to meet her father there. So after leaving for France with the King of France, Cordelia was now crowned as the Queen of France. But she was very worried about her father's health. She wanted to come back to her father, but then England and France were at war at each other. So she couldn't enter the country of England. So what did she do? She decided to attack England to rescue her father. But during the war, the French army, this Cordelia's army, was defeated and Queen Cordelia was imprisoned. And she was so surprised to meet her father in the prison. She couldn't believe her eyes. Her old and weak father was there in the prison. Seeing Cordelia, he tells her, "Don't laugh at me, young lady. Perhaps I'm being foolish, but you look like my daughter Cordelia." Dressed up in splendid and magnificent clothes and jewelry, the king could not recognize his dearest daughter at first. So he tells her that this young lady looks like his dear daughter Cordelia. Cordelia runs to her father, hugs him tightly, and says, "Yes, father, I am your Cordelia. I have been looking all over for you. Finally, I have found you. Father, I'll never let you go. Forgive me, my child, for I am old and foolish. I have caused you a lot of pain." So Cordelia and Leah are overjoyed to meet each other after such a long time. So children, that was a beautiful reunion. I hope you liked this story. If you read the story once again, and then you can do the reading comprehension exercise. So this has got 4 sections. The first section is arrange the sentences as per the storyline. One has been done for you. You can see a few sentences given there in that exercise. You have to read the story thoroughly and then arrange these sentences in the correct order of their occurrence in the story. So I hope you're clear with that. Now the next exercise is read these sentences and answer the questions that follow. So here you can see 2 set of questions. Each has got 3 subdivisions. So when you read the story, you'll be able to find answers to these questions. Then you have to note down answers to these questions in your notebook with proper question and question number. Now the next section is answer these questions. Here also you can see 4 questions. You have to find answers to these questions from the story and note down them in your notebook. Now the next section is think and answer. You can see 2 questions are given here. And you have to read each question carefully, and based on what you think, you have to answer each question in your own words. You can write down your answer in your notebook. The next section is the values and life skills section, and here it talks about honesty. Let me read out the question to you. Gondrel and Regan had been dishonest with Leah as they wanted a share in his kingdom, but Cordelia was honest with him from the beginning. King Lear understood his mistake and also apologized to her later. Discuss in class why honesty is important in our everyday life. Children, do you think it was fair of King Lear to disown his daughter because she couldn't flatter him with her words? She was a simple and honest daughter who was very genuine in her love towards her father. So why do you think honesty is very important in our life? Think about it and you can note down your points in your notebook. So once you have written the answers to all these questions, you can submit your answers in Microsoft Teams. So once we get the submission from all the students, we'll be uploading the answers of these questions in Teams. Then you can cross-check your answers and make necessary corrections. So children, please do read the story once again. Along with this video, we'll be uploading the worksheets, the reading notes and class notes for this class in our school website. You can check them out and you can submit your answers through Microsoft Teams. So that's all for today, children. We'll see you in the next class. Till then, bye.